It's a sort of new economy that begins to emerge after World War II in the context of the Cold War. It's that information economy that is so vital to what we're doing now. Hi, I'm Mark Thibault. I'm a professor at Arizona State University, where I'm also a senior global futures scientist. Let's talk about modern Phoenix and its roots. The story of manufacturing in Phoenix is really hidden by our state seal. You know, we talk about the 5 C's. 4 of them are copper, cattle, citrus, and cotton, all of which are extractive industries. They're not about making new things. And they reflect Phoenix's history before World War II. After World War II, that really began to change in some fundamental ways. During the Cold War, city leaders really promoted manufacturing. Aerospace and technology emerged as key drivers in the economy in the 1950s and 60s. And that sees this incredible growth here in Phoenix in the technology sector. And so for the very first time, Phoenix is doing this kind of work that's at the leading edge of the economy. By the 1970s, it's an important but modest part of the economy. And now we are the 8th leading industrial manufacturing center.
The incredible growth of manufacturing and technology from the 50s to the 70s is firmly established in the Phoenix area. It created a series of cascading effects on the region, including the diversification of the economy.
And so when you look out over the city now, beyond me, you see a bunch of things, features in the landscape that tell the story of the creation of that infrastructure that is largely, or at least partly, tied to manufacturing. You see waves and waves of housing off in the distance. You see a downtown of office towers there in Midtown. And you see over my left shoulder, perhaps, Arizona State University. All 3 of those represent aspects of both the diversification of the economy, but the need to build an infrastructure to drive manufacturing. ASU, because you need an educated workforce. Housing, because people need somewhere to live. And those office towers become the home for corporate headquarters, but also office workers and service workers that begin to come in larger numbers.
In 1956, the National Highway Defense Act determined that interstate highways needed to be built between cities as part of the broader Cold War effort.
So in the 50s, we begin to get the early freeways, and those allow the city to expand outward in a relatively inexpensive way, creating this kind of vast suburban megalopolis that supports the center city, that supports this diversifying economy. Phoenicians have a love-hate relationship with our freeways. They've enabled growth, but they've also become something, as with all Americans, we spend way too much time on the freeway. One of the really interesting things about where we're talking right now is you can hear the city in the background, right? And it is the sound of growth that we hear. We hear maybe the cranes in the background. We see them for sure. We hear emergency vehicles because of the morning commute. It is part of what we know to be a vibrant city, right? And we don't mostly notice that in our daily lives, but those sounds tell us a city is growing.
As the freeways helped expand development further from Phoenix proper, the light rail was developed as a way of bringing people back. The light rail began operations in 2008 and as of today continues to expand and grow.
So in the last few years, we've seen the emergence of a light rail here in Phoenix. But the light rail will help bring people back to that civic center. And that kind of movement of people in and out of a downtown, in and around it, is really important to businesses big and small.
Pre-World War II, Phoenix is not on the list of great American cities. By the late 20th century, it is one of the major cities in the United States.
Phoenix is this incredibly diverse community, economically diverse, ethnically and demographically diverse, but it has this extraordinary energy that you don't see in many American places. To me, a place like Phoenix with its diverse voices debating the future is the future of American cities? I would say that Phoenix tells us about what America will be and can be.
The city of Phoenix's origins began with an ancient civilization flourishing around an advanced water delivery system, literally laying the groundwork for an agricultural outpost in the 1800s. At one time overshadowed by Prescott and Tucson, Phoenix now holds the title of the capital of Arizona and one of the major cities in the United States.
We've heard today about how economic activity has left its stamp on Phoenix and the region. How will you?